Everybody, what is up? Welcome back to another Lockboss show and giveaway. Of course, I am PJ. Happy to be here with you today after my little hiatus last week. And man, I got sick. So props to Lily and Ian for covering for me. Really appreciate that. You know, I mean, typically I only get sick like once a year on average, and it seems to almost always be in November. And although I think so it was a bummer. And then I went straight from being sick to going to the coast, actually, Ocean Shores, Washington, with my dad and a couple guys crabbing. So it was a lot of fun. Caught a few hundred crab, actually, but hardly any keepers. So one keeper, to be exact. So I tell you what, it was still a lot of fun though. And I am happy to be back here. Now, Ken, I do see you saying that I still look a bit sick. So no, I don't think I am, at least, Ken, huh? But no, really happy to be here with you today. Of course, we're going to be going over a comment of the week, a post of the week, and then we're going to go into part 2 of our going over the 2025 Locksmith Ledger's State of the Industry survey. So really pumped up for that. And I have some good questions for you, some interesting insights, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So, and then here in the third week, or in another one, we'll do a part 3, and then I'm hoping to get Locksmith Ledger on here with us and kind of talk through of it a little bit. So, yeah, should be a lot of fun. You guys' comments are crazy. Although I guess you're right. I mean, man, when I don't know. I think I look normal. I don't know, you guys. I'm getting conscious now. I'm gonna have to ask my wife, how do I look? No, truthfully, what starts as a fever ends up going into like almost like a head cold type of thing. And you know how those things are. Like it's like a week after, and you're like still kind of about a week after, and you're still kind of dealing with some of it. So, but anyways, with that being said, of course, let me slide on in here to the Topo Chico. So, of course, I'm going to be drinking a Topo. Cheers to you out there, either drinking a Topo or your favorite beverage of choice. So, cheers. Jimmy J, what's up? I like it. Says I'm looking younger. I mean, I think I've been telling you guys my 14-year-old's been cutting my hair, and I have noticed she's kind of been. It's longer than normal. She's kind of changing her style or something. My style a little bit. So I don't know. As my grandpa always used to tell me, PJ, If I had a head that looked like yours and it didn't hurt, I'd be worried. So there you have it. There you have it. Julio, are you out there? But that would have been a good time for some drums. Just saying, just saying. But hey there, let's see here. Yep, gotta have Cucumber Locks, gotta have that afternoon topo. You better believe it. Now, of course, before we get going here, a couple things. Number one, if you want more where that came from and you want to hang out with us in that after party, well, guess what? You can. Look for the link to our friend Jimmy J, Iowa Lock Doc. There'll be a link in there to his Discord, and you can come hang out. So a few weeks ago, if you don't really know what we're talking about, go watch a live from a couple weeks ago, and you'll see Jimmy J on here. We were talking about the after party. So if you want to come hang out, I will be there, actually. So like almost always am, but I will be there. So yeah. Besides that, man, I tell you what. So here, I don't want to give you a date exactly, but the entire Lock Boss giveaway is going to be changing. Okay. So when the time comes, of course, I'll let you know, but just heads up, you're going to see some, actually, it's going to be completely different. So pretty excited about that. I'm sure you are too. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll keep it going. So, but it's going to be a lot different. A lot, but I'm really looking forward to it. And once again, thank you all for being here. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to go and get the show started, and let's get the screen pulled up. All right, here we go. Here we go. Post of the week. This one comes from Randy P. Randy says, built me a new workbench for the garage this morning. Getting ready to get it loaded up with my CLK Lock Boss supplies. I like it, Randy P. Got a frame and two sitting there. Got a, what is that, a 9160 sitting there, HPC 9160. Looks like you got a CLK pinning kit sitting in there, and a nice Craftsman toolbox, a little bit of that Dini sitting back there in a lab mat. I like it. I like it. That looks like a really good, productive garage workspace there. So I like it. Now, Randy, you'll have to send us some of them live action photos when you can, though. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to see what are you working on in the workbench in the garage. I like it, though. Thank you for sending the photo. All right, next up, here's the comment of the week, and this comes from colorblind_guy. Says, shopping van tours are some of my favorite videos. We'll do similar. Let me start over. It looks like I can't read all of a sudden. Hold on, let me take a sip. There we go. We all do similar things, but we can all learn from each other. Thanks for being a lock boss and showing us around your shop. Adrian, yeah, how cool was that? First of all, of course, and I'll do a video recap at some point. We'll kind of get into it a little bit. But Adrian, first of all, I don't know if I've seen you on live tonight or not yet, but thank you for letting me, while in Bozeman, get a van tour out of you. Got the shop tour, which is awesome. And then we have like a bonus, actually, episode coming up, I believe, in 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4, I think 3, with something while I was there that I observed that I was like, hey, Adrian, I hope you don't mind, but I think I would like to do a video of this if you want to, and you wanted to. So, yeah. Anyways, colorblind guy, completely agree with you, and thanks for the comment. All right, industry trends. Let's kind of get into it here a little bit, and see here. All right. All right. So state of the industry. Now, I see the guy, some of the screen. So this is something from the Locksmith Ledger. You can see their logo kind of in the bottom right. This is something that Paul Ragusa put out. Hopefully I said that right, Paul. And it's always good every year. I look forward to it. I like seeing what's going on. And is what I've been doing now for several years, is kind of dissecting it and kind of putting it in chunks and kind of talking about it, right? So that's what we're going to be doing here. So here we go. Okay, so this week we're kind of going over revenue and profit trends and kind of thinking through some of this, all right? And first and foremost here, you can see that 30% of people, so when you compared your 2024 to revenue to 2025, it looks like 30% of you were about even, 25.5% up, slightly up, and 15% of you were significantly up. So, of course, I'm curious how, when you look at this and then you look at your own business, how are you doing on that? Now, the fun thing, though, and why I put these two graphics on the same slide here, is that it is really important to kind of look at the two things here, right? So if we look at about even revenue-wise, 30%, and you look at profit, about 31% said that their profit was about even, and 26.5% said slightly up, and then 12% said significantly up, right? And if you kind of look at those three percentages, you can kind of see they kind of get right about to the same spot. So it's pretty interesting. Now, of course, 16% were slightly down, and 13% were significantly down. So, of course, we have seen a decent amount of price increases this year. So, you really want to be, if possible, in the at least slightly up. But yeah, okay. Let's get on to the next one here. This is, how does your weekly schedule of projects in 2025 compare with 2024? As you can see, about 38% said about even, 23% said slightly up, and 11% said significantly up, with about 13% said down or significantly down. And alongside that was, do you expect to increase or do you expect that to increase or decrease in the next year? And check this out. 34% said about even, about the same. But look at this. 45% said slightly up, and 10% said significantly up. Now, what's important to me, like looking at these two sitting right next to each other, is look at that. Like, you see optimism, right? I took a little clip that says Locksmith bullish on business for 2026. Very interesting to me. Yeah, let me just leave that. But let me just leave that for the moment. All right. Top challenges. This is always an interesting one. 54, over half of people surveyed said that controlling costs was the top challenge. 36.5% said finding and retaining employees, which is not surprising. That's kind of always a challenge, actually. 30% said acquiring, keeping customers. 25% said creating recurring monthly revenue. Interesting. I want to kind of get in that a little bit. Top challenges, 24% said product delays. 17% succession plan and transition planning. and 16% tariffs, the famous T word. And 8% said diversifying product lineup services, and 10% said other. That's very interesting. So the little clip I put out here was controlling costs, finding and retaining top talent, or talent top the locksmith concerns. Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, in any industry, in any business, finding and retaining good staff members is, I think, always a challenge, right? I mean, that's just, I think when you talk to a lot of smaller businesses, maybe it's yourself or maybe with 1 or 2 staff members, that almost seems to kind of be the toughest a little bit. You know, there's a lot of challenges that come with that, a lot of expenses and overhead. It's terrifying, actually. Yeah, so that makes sense. But yeah, controlling costs. It's almost like if I had to summarize the challenge, for me actually in 2025, it would literally be controlling costs, right? Because man, things are expensive today. All right. So with all of that being said, let's kind of get into it with one more here. Importance of technology advances. Respondents were asked to select the technology or service advancements that were most important to their business. They were asked to select top 3 choices, so it won't add up to 100. 40% smart locks, 37% automotive transponders, 36% high security cylinders, 28% wireless solutions. What is the next one there? Okay, that incorporate legacy hardware, 16%. Okay, retrofit type stuff, 12% service subscriptions, 10.5% power over Ethernet connectivity, 7% touchless door openings, and kind of goes down video integration, cloud computing, multi-factor credentialing, and other. Yeah, very interesting, huh? Very interesting. Smart locks. There's been a lot of discussion in the after party actually on smart locks and different applications, right? I mean, whether it's residential or commercial. And anyways, we're actually going to get into that here with some questions in just a minute. And Lock Leisure, what's up, says, can you make this a smart lock? Your number 1 question. Yep. All right, so hey, let's get into it. Okay, so this is the segment we're going to be going over this week, and I got a few questions for you, right? Because what makes the Lock Boss community great isn't me on the camera here. I think we've all established that. What makes the community great is all of your input. So let's get into a few questions. Here we go. Question number 1. So we want to sell smart locks. What is your biggest challenge? So what is your biggest challenge in selling smart locks? And I can actually riff on this for quite a while, right? Because I swear it's like, it seems like the solutions a lot of times, like for example, I was talking to Kid Lock, and he was talking about, he's like, hey, PG, I got this application. This is kind of what I'm thinking. And what do you think? And I was like, man, it's like one of those weird things that on the surface, right? So like, here, you know what? Let's talk about a couple applications. Application 1 is like an Airbnb service, right? Airbnb, what do they do? What do you do there? What type of lock are you putting on? Some people want the Wi-Fi compatible. They want cell compatible. They also want inexpensive, that sort of things. Next, you could go commercial wise, right? We've talked about the Pack Blue. We've talked about Town Steel. We've talked about Alarm Lock. Locky has some solutions. And of course, when it comes to residential, there's a lot of options out there, and almost all of them are D2C, right? You have these companies that actually have kind of like either just went straight to big box stores or have just kind of they just kind of market direct in, in consumers or whatever, which as James Estep says, I can't compete with big box stores pricing. Yeah. And I think that's James, the interesting thing about that, I think you're right. It's kind of always been it's kind of been one of the old adages, for years, right? It's like, it's hard to sell a quick set for what a big box store sells it for and still make any sort of margin, right? And, one of the tricks a lot of times in business is like, you want to kind of like these guys that kind of give the margins, the less people in between, the more margins there are, right? I mean, that's just kind of how it works. But the big thing, though, is a lot of the discussions that we've kind of had about this and this or that, like, I still believe that there is a really big market out there for people installing and setting up, Ring style, or what's the Amazon one? There's a whole slew of them out there. And a lot of times, people want to be a part of an ecosystem, right? They want to be a part of an ecosystem that they can use other stuff for, but that doesn't mean that they actually know how to take a lock off a door and put a new lock on, nor do they want to. And all of the stuff that comes with that. So I think there's actually, in my view, a lot of options for installation. But of course, looking through the different comments here, dual control seems like STC as an option for 2 entry codes. Yep. Not knowing anything about them. Cody White says Lockley is awesome. Yep. And sometimes Amazon, let's see here, margin. Yeah. Margin. Fair enough. Filtering all the crap ones out. Yeah. But the funny part is with, Ken's technical definition of a crap lock is that I tell you, they are, everywhere. I mean, a lot of times, how many times have we all bought something, the cheap one first, and then we're later like, you know what, I don't mind paying for a good one. A lot of guys feel that way about tools, right? A lot of times, you'll start with the cheap tool, and then you're like, you know what, I just want a tool that the next time I buy it, I can rely on it. And, but yeah. So, all right, let's go to the next question here. Okay, so 55% of people surveyed expect more work next year, but only 40% grew this year. So if you're in that boat, I am very curious, why do you feel you will grow next year? Let's see. Why do you feel you will grow next year? Only 40% of people grew this year, but 55% of those surveyed believed that they will grow in 2026. I'd love some input on this one. Let's see here. Yeah, Cody says the bad ones that fail all the time are a good money maker. Yep. Let's see here. JMR, what's up? He says overeating. Not that type of growth, James. I can't not grow. Started my own personal side business. Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Less tariffs, hopefully. Huh? Let's see what else. Do you feel you'll grow next year? I mean, maybe you don't. It's okay. School says hope and a prayer. Hey. Let's see. That's true. I mean, honestly, when I look at it, it's kind of like one of those things. Like, if you are in business for yourself and you don't think that next year will be good, man, it can that can that might be one of the most depressing things on the planet, honestly. Like, um, it really feels that, yep, grow each year more, more, more. But yeah, so I don't know. I've always, thankfully we've been on a really good run with uh, growing, thankfully. And I don't know, like, yeah. I think the bigger question, honestly, is for me is like, are we growing profitably? Are we healthy? Not only just financially, but just how we're doing things, it's kind of something that's always I'm personally thinking about. Cody says, I hope to grow more this year with contracts with more facility management companies. That's great. Yeah, that's some good business when you get it. Just don't get so big you pop. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You got to watch the leverage out there. Don't be getting too far over the skis there, or at all, actually. But I gotta go. Let's see. Let's see here. I grew up since last year. Oh, I grew since last year, so I hope to keep it up. Yeah, very cool, Scully. I have nowhere to go but up. That's how it feels sometimes, doesn't it? But yeah, so I don't know. It doesn't surprise me that people, even though only 40% grew next year, they're hoping to grow more than that. They're hoping to grow. It's good, actually, right? I mean, we have to, as business owners, as managers, as staff members, like, it's good. Like, I mean, you want to be thinking about that if possible, like, be optimistic at least. All right, here we go. Last question. Let's see. Over half says their biggest problem is controlling costs. What is the number one cost in business that feels too much? And I'll tell you what mine is, actually, here in a minute, while we're going here. Okay, yeah, maybe the Facebook comments you can't really see on here, huh? I wonder if I can change that somehow. But yeah, okay. So what is the number one cost in your business that feels too much? Ours, for sure, here, honestly, is shipping. Shipping is so expensive. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars a month. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, advertising. I mean, that's a good one too. Advertising. Yeah, that's interesting. We spend way more in advertising than we do in shipping. But why do I go to shipping? I feel like, I don't know. That's good. That's good. Let's see here. Insurance, fuel. Yep. Stock parts, supplies. I was looking forward, trim some fat and do better. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Let's see. What else? What's the number one cost in business that feels too much? Yeah, maybe advertising doesn't feel too much to me compared to shipping, but yeah, interesting. Getting stalked, but I started this side, so it's supposed to be expected. Yep. I spent less on insurance last year than advertising. Random thing that honestly feels too high for me is, the property tax, right? Jeez. But I guess that's a little off topic, so I won't rabbit trail us there. But Yeah, spent less on insurance last year than advertising. Yeah. What is a premium? I mean, what like taxes? Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's probably the best one actually. I mean, I really set myself up for that one, you know. What is the number one cost in business that feels too much? Taxes, absolutely. Let's see here. We spent like classes, spent like 10 year, I think, on making classes happen. That's a lot. It's a lot, George. That's a lot. Um, yeah. Yeah, all those kind of make sense. You know, I'm kind of curious for those, you know, like how much like, what are you paying in insurance? You know, I mean, is it like, we're talking like hundreds a month? I'm guessing. I'd be kind of curious. Kind of curious to know anyone who's comfortable sharing there. Yeah, no state taxes in Texas. Yeah, I hear though, Robert, that property. I was talking to a guy, and I just complained about property taxes, but man, I was talking to a guy who I think he said his house value was like 500,000 or 600,000, and in Texas, and his property tax was like 20 grand or something, which is crazy. If if I heard that right, but Robert, how's your property tax down there? But yeah, no state taxes. I mean, Idaho has state tax. But all right, here in just a minute, we'll get on to this week's lucky winners. And yeah, employee vacations aren't cheap. Me, myself, and I travel together. Yeah, G-Man. Did he get a group rate? That's a oh, I like it. I absolutely. All right, guys. Hey, great discussion here. And let's see, ABBA is supposed to be lowering the property tax. Okay, that's cool. But Robert, am I on track with that? You have like a $500,000-$600,000 house, and like you're paying 20 grand in property tax. That's crazy. I mean, compared to, I guess we have state tax plus, I don't know, my friends, like if you have like a $500,000 house up here, I think you're paying like 1,300 a year for property tax. But anyways. All right, well, hey, let's get on to this week's lucky winners. How about that? All right, now, man, it looks like our thing's frozen on do it again here. Looks like that's somehow frozen. But all right, wait, let's go ahead. Let's keep it going. Let's get to the winners here. Now, before we announce the winners, let's make sure we get on the same page on what to do if you win. You want to email us your shipping info to sales@clksupplies.com or call us at 800-848-6989 and we'll send your gifts soon. How to win. Comment on our videos with the hashtag LockBoss. Winners will be chosen from comments on the previous week's videos for our weekly giveaway. No purchase necessary. All right. All right, here we go. Here we go. Winner number one is Sharkman4928. Congrats. Winner number two is YTFP_Chris. Congratulations. Winner number three is Swamp Picker. Congratulations. Winner number four is Sherelle. Sherelle, congrats. And last but not least, winner number five this week is BBQ_Eddie. I like it, Eddie. What kind of barbecue you doing? Tell us more, please. But hey, of course, congrats to all of the winners this week. And yeah, here before long, actually, right? Here before long, the Lock Boss, as we're doing it now, is going to be, we're coming to an end with it, which is kind of exciting. But I'm excited for the next season 4. And man, I think you guys are going to like it. I think you're going to like it. But of course, I'm going to let you be the judge. All right? I'll let you be the judge. And I know there's many of you on here that will kindly and politely tell me if you like it or not. What else do I got going on here? Let me think about this. First of all, I would like to thank everybody not only for being here, and I hope you have a safe Tuesday, but I really want to thank you all for, man, the orders that we received over Cyber Monday, Black Friday. Even this last weekend, we actually, just a couple days ago, had a record-breaking weekend, which was wild. So I just want to say thank you all so much for your support. It really means a lot to not only myself, but the whole staff here. So really appreciate that. Of course, if you like the live today, would appreciate a nice little like button. If you haven't subscribed with us, you're sure more than welcome to make sure you don't miss another live or video. And yeah, I think that's about it. Trying to look through the comments, read them a little bit. Of course, the after party is going to be starting up here in just a few minutes. And if you want to come hang out, or as I like to say, if you want more where that came from, the after party is where you need to be. Come hang out. We talk a little bit about this and a little bit about that. Maybe some other stuff as well. It's really whatever we like. So sometimes we have an agenda, sometimes we don't. But yeah. Anyways, everybody, once again, thanks for being here, and I look forward to seeing you either in the after party or in the videos this week, or of course next week on the live. So until then, y'all have a good and wonderful Tuesday evening. Stay safe.